Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So Bob, while you're standing here, why don't I introduce you? Bob Zugby is on the Labor Day Committee, but he's also the chair of the Outstanding Citizen Committee. Bob? Thank you. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, our outstanding citizen, born in 1957, joined the Greenbelt Volunteer Fire Department at the age of 16 and became a life member in 1993. I haven't said who he is yet. The following year, he was named Junior Fireman of the Year. Having risen through all line officer positions to Assistant Chief, he was elected Vice President. Then in 1995, President of the Greenbelt Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad. Now Vice President since 2004, when he was also recognized by the Greenbelt American Legion as Volunteer Fireman of the Year. He was instrumental in achieving the renovation of Greenbelt's first fire truck, has managed the annual bull roast and crab feast, and has been a hard-working fundraiser for the firehouse. All of this he's accomplished while raising money for the Mid-Atlantic Burn Camp for Children and the Maryland Fallen Firefighters Memorial, which is about to be constructed in Annapolis. A skier and amateur photographer, he also loves his 2 Harley-Davidson motorcycles, his red Corvette, and his wife Nancy, not necessarily in that order. Incidentally, Nancy is also president of the Ladies Auxiliary of the Greenbelt Fire Department. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen for 2005, Mr. J. REMENICK.
Those who know me know I'm never for a loss of words, but what happened today, I am at a loss of words. This is the biggest shock that's ever happened to me in my life, as I mentioned before. But I would just like to say that, first of all, I want to thank the fire department for accepting me as a member 32 years ago. It's the best thing that ever happened to my life. My life was probably going in a direction that needed to be corrected, and the fire department was there to help me out. And I became a responsible citizen of this town, and I became a responsible member of the Greenbelt Fire Department, and I rose through the ranks, and I felt I did many accomplishments during those years, and I felt the feeling of accomplishment, and I still do to this day. I stepped down as president of the fire department last year because I put in a good hard 10, 11 years. I was retiring from my job at Metro after 27 years, and I wanted to sit back and relax a little bit, and I knew there was some good people coming behind me to take over. Chris Fleshman, George Moore standing back there trying to hide. We have some good people that can step up and carry on the tradition that I started, and I hope that the fire department keeps continuing to go in a positive direction, and I know it will. And I'm still there to help. I'm still there to offer guidance and consult like I do every day. There isn't a day that goes by that my phone doesn't ring. You know, Jay, can you help out with this? Jay, can you help out with that? And I tell them, call George. But anyway, I would once again like to thank the fire department, and I'd like to thank my family for standing behind me and backing me all these years. You know, my mom wasn't so thrilled about me joining the fire department when I did. I was only 16 years old. She said I was just a child, and I was. But I grew up quick. I had to maintain a B average to stay at the fire department, and I topped that and got an A average. So, you know, I was real proud of myself. I did a lot of things on my own, which, you know, helped me into adulthood. And I became a supervisor at Metro, and now I'm just sitting back counting my Metro money every day that I don't have to work for. So anyway, I'd like to also thank the committee, whoever was responsible for naming me as Outstanding Citizen. I'd like to thank the Greenbelt City Council, who I've worked with throughout the years, and it's been a pleasure, believe me. They have helped this fire department immensely. I can't say enough about them. I continue to support them even though I'm out of office. I'm still vice president of the fire department, but that's kind of a backseat thing now. But I do come to the council meetings whenever the fire department has to represent, and I will continue to do that and fight for what we need. And Greenbelt is soon going to have a brand new fire truck that everybody's going to be proud of. And without the help of the city council and the citizens of Greenbelt, the way they help and respond to our fund drives and to every other donation that we've asked for over the years. And I appreciate that. And I thank all the citizens as well. Thank you very much.
Our outstanding citizen spends hours each week serving the homeless, bringing volunteers and people in need together, tutoring our children, serving the church. In what capacities does she do these things? She's vice president of the board of directors of Help by Phone for Safe Haven, organizer of Empty Bowls Project at her church, president of GIESE, president of Friends of the Greenbelt Library. She sells handmade items for Serve, secretary of the Lions Club, math tutor at Greenbelt Elementary School, active in the Greenbelt Community Church, active in the Greenbelt Labor Day Festival, the Community Relations Advisory Board, the New Deal Cafe, and this is the short list. What does this say here? Biographical clues. Seems I left some things out. My apologies. Her husband's name is Larry. She likes to travel Alaska this year. Her government career, CIA. And she comes from Rockville, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen for 2006, MARSHA VOIGT. Thank you. MARSHA, I present to you this certificate prepared for us by the Greenbelt Rotary in recognition MARSHA L. VOIGT, Greenbelt Outstanding Citizen for significant dedicated volunteer services to our community, September 3rd, 2006.
This is awfully awesome. It's also embarrassing to be acknowledged this much. Thank you very much. You know, there's a lot of things I do, and the reason I do them is because I get so much out of them. I can look at each of the organizations, and starting with, I'm a lion because the little kids that we do pre-vision screening, and it's with 3rd and 4th grades, and it is so friggin' much fun to see those little kids looking at the pictures of their eyes. So that's why I'm a lion. Okay, the library. For one thing, librarians are really cool people. They're very cool, they're very smart, and if you're a volunteer there, you get first crack at all the books that are donated. Okay, a biggie for me is help by phone. I work a lot there, and helping people that need food is important. The thought of little kids without food just is not acceptable. So that's why I do that. Okay, the 6th grade math that I tutor, I love multiplication tables. I love add, subtract, multiply, and divide. I do not want to have to go back and work to do, I love algebra and geometry, but I can't remember how to do it. So I have to stay in 6th grade because then I don't have to do algebra and geometry. So that's that. There's a ton of things that I like to do around Greenbelt Community Church. Just everything about it well, just everything. It is neat. Yeah, there's my husband. Heaven knows why I like him around, but I do. He's a cool guy. And come here. You know, you've all seen him. He's Dave's friend at the co-op. He helps support the wall out there, so you know that's Dave and Larry. And I'm really honored by this. Find something you love to do and do it. And if you don't like to do it, go find something else, because there's a million things to do. They didn't mention all my cats, and so I'm not going to mention them either, but that's another place. Find something you love and do it. Thank you so much. Bye.
You might be an outstanding citizen if you have a useful skill that you've nurtured since high school. You might be an outstanding citizen if you have an active concern for human welfare, especially for children. You might be an outstanding citizen if your concern is manifested in your study of human relationships in a small Eastern college. You could be an outstanding citizen if you applied these studies to providing social services to children in a large Midwestern city. You might be an outstanding citizen if you married your college sweetheart and moved to Greenbelt in the 60s with your family, finding here a community that shares your social service values. You might be an outstanding citizen if you raised 2 children in Greenbelt and provided social services to Greenbelt's children in an after-school program. You are an outstanding citizen if you have applied your journalism skills to the local newspaper diligently since 1971. And if you are proud of your Greenbelt community, your Scottish heritage, and your grandson, Kevin. Assistant editor of the Greenbelt News Review since the 1980s. Past member of the News Review Board of Directors, charter member of the Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt Democratic Club, charter member of Citizens for Greenbelt, past PTA and scouting volunteer, Barbara Likowski, you are Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen for 2007. Barbara, please bring your family up on stage. Betsy, if you're here, Alex, and your bride, Kevin. To present the official certificate for the Outstanding Citizen, I present to you Helen Svensson, President-elect, the Greenbelt Rotary.
It is my pleasure to again represent the Greenbelt Rotary with this wonderful award ceremony that you do every year. And Barbara, here is your certificate. You want to turn it around, show it everybody in front? Hooray. On behalf of the Greenbelt Rotary, go girl.
Now is the time for me to call upon the outstanding citizen herself. I know she just loves the limelight and she likes all the attention. I mean, this is, I guess not. But I'm going to call on Barbara to say a few words.
Well, I certainly am honored and surprised and really have nothing planned to say because I never dreamed that this would happen. But thank you very much, everybody in Greenbelt. It's a wonderful place to live.
I cannot express how gratified I am that Barbara has been chosen this year's Outstanding Citizen. Most deserving person. Congratulations. As in prior years, our 2008 Outstanding Citizen is highly qualified by a life dedicated to the betterment of the Greenbelt community. Of course, many Greenbelters are involved in various community activities and projects. Indeed, this is an inherent characteristic of Greenbelters. Our outstanding citizen became involved immediately upon arriving in our city in activities of immediate concern to his or her family, and then broadened her or his involvement to minister to the needs of the community in general. Accordingly, the first activity in which our outstanding citizen was involved was as a helping mother in the Greenbelt Cooperative Nursery School. Okay, I concede the point. Our 2008 Outstanding Citizen is a she. Well, that should narrow the field considerably. As her children grew, our 2008 Outstanding Citizen became a volunteer with the Greenbelt Municipal Swim Team, and her involvement began expanding at that point beyond the needs of her family. She saw the need and began advocating for an indoor swimming pool, an advocacy that would eventually bear fruit in the Greenbelt Aquatic and Fitness Center. She became a member of Citizens for Greenbelt, serving on the audit committee of that once vibrant organization of community activists. And our 2008 Outstanding Citizen was an early member of the Greenbelt Refuse and Recycling Committee. She was one of the founders of Greenbelt Intergenerational Volunteer Exchange Service, GIESE, and continues her substantial service to that organization. Our 2008 Outstanding Citizen is perhaps best known for her contributions to the senior citizens of this city. For 20 years, she has been a member of the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee, SCAC. On that committee, she worked to establish the Greenbelt Assistance in Living Program, GALE, run by a community resource advocate. She then led the formation of Friends of the Resource Advocate to recruit and organize volunteers, to advocate on behalf of the GALE budget, and to advise on new programs. Her efforts have been recognized by GIESE in the 2008 Award for Outstanding Service, by Gale in its 2008 Volunteer Award of Excellence, and by Prince George's County in a plaque for excellence in leadership in recognition of her, quote, outstanding advocacy on behalf of older adults and commitment to developing livable communities. Now, one might be tempted to think that an individual with this much energy and activity must have an otherwise easy life with lots of time to fill with public service projects. While that may be the case for many, our outstanding citizen does not fit that description. Having suffered Nazi oppression and war in her native Holland, she came to America in 1948, married in 1952, became a Greenbelter and a community activist in 1957. More recent personal adversity not only has not interrupted her efforts, but has led her activism into new areas. The loss of her husband in 2000 led to her participation as a co-facilitator for the Patuxent Widowed Persons Services Bereavement Support Group. The tragic loss of her bicyclist son in an automobile accident in 2002 led to her efforts to strengthen state laws against aggressive driving. As always, our outstanding citizen continues to think of new ways to serve our community. It is now my great honor to present to you a lady who is celebrating this year both her 90th birthday and the 60th anniversary of her arrival in America. Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen for 2008, Leonie Snatiger Penny. Leonie, please come up with your family.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's really overwhelming, and there are a few things that I want to say. It's so overwhelming. When I came to the United States in 1948, I knew exactly one person in the whole United States, so this is unbelievable. But listen, life is a two-way street. And I owe so much to Greenbelt. I have been so fortunate to live here. As Mr. Zookby briefly mentioned, during World War II, I lost most of my family. And coming here to Greenbelt, I found a new family. It has meant so much to me. Of course, I had my wonderful husband and children, and grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, but Greenbelt has been so wonderful. I mean, just, you walk to the co-op and people say, hi, Leonie, hi, Mrs. Penny. That is unbelievable. I don't think you find it anywhere else. Let's try to be very tactful or diplomatic, but that's why I was so very hurt when some people attacked Greenbelt. It's the most, thank you. You have given me so much, me and my family. Thank you. By the way, I had no idea. My children, I wasn't going to come here. My children had to. I had no idea.
Now, I also know that a great many of you have acquired a kind of annual hobby consisting of trying to guess who will be selected as Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen. Now, I don't want to discourage you. In fact, let me help you with your guessing. Do you have someone in mind who's out front on every issue, attracting lots of attention in various public forums? You do? Well, I'm sorry, that's not the one this year. Are you guessing it might be someone whose contributions to the community are made exclusively through various Greenbelt institutions and organizations? Well, that isn't the one either. Or maybe the person you're thinking of has spent years devoted to a single cause or institution or a single activity in the community. Sorry about that, at least not this year. On the other hand, maybe you're thinking of someone who sees a need and fills it, whatever it may be. Okay, now we're getting warm. Perhaps the person you're thinking of is a leader when called upon to lead, and a helper when called on to assist, serving in whatever capacity is required for the task at hand, either within the Greenbelt community or on a national or even international level. Well, now we're getting closer. Now, if the person you're thinking of, in addition to the kinds of service already mentioned, habitually serves her neighbors spontaneously and personally, with laundry, changing linens, picking up prescriptions, and shopping for physically challenged senior Greenbelters, or helping a multiple birth family with food, furniture, laundry, or providing support and comfort to the family of a recovering assault victim, or is accustomed to doing so many of these things on a daily or weekly basis, then you just might know who the outstanding citizen is. A resident of Greenbelt since 1971, a retired classroom teacher and church choir director, our outstanding citizen has directed the Greenbelt Combined Choir since 1975, was a founder, vice president, and president of the Boxwood Civic Association, has served as a member of the Labor Day Festival Committee and chaired the Miss Greenbelt pageant from 1982 to 1986, tutors 6th grade English at Greenbelt Elementary School and teaches English to native Spanish speakers at St. Camilla's Church in Silver Spring, remains active in Habitat for Humanity and has helped build houses in Bolivia, Honduras, and Guatemala, volunteers on behalf of Iraq War veterans, has served on the Board of Education for the Archdiocese of Washington. Yes, you have guessed correctly. I am honored to present to you Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen for 2009, Ms. Jean Marie Cook. Jean, please come up here with your husband, family, friends. Here to present the official certificate for the Greenbelt Outstanding Citizen is Wick Caldwell.
Thank you, Bob. Ms. Cook, congratulations. I know that this is deserved. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
At this time, may I present to you the outstanding citizen, Jean Cook.
Thank you to all of you. When my youngest child was in Greenbelt Nursery School, one of the things that we had that year were T-shirts that said Greenbelt is great, and Greenbelt is truly great. Very shortly after we moved to Greenbelt, we were burned out of our home, and the people of Greenbelt took care of us. It was when we learned how important community is, and a community like this is like no other. One of our children has found a lovely community, and he keeps saying, "It's Greenbelt, Mom, it's Greenbelt, it just happens to be in Georgia." Nowhere else do you find people so kind, so giving, and so willing to reach their hands out to one another. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Thank you.
right, so who is our outstanding citizen this year? Well, it's an exemplary Greenbelter, of course. All right, well, so what exactly is an exemplary Greenbelter? Well, an exemplary Greenbelter is one for whom Greenbelt means much more than a residential address or place of employment. And that's why when we examine our list of previous outstanding citizens, we don't find any city employees among them. Rather, the exemplary Greenbelter demonstrates a heartfelt commitment to the Greenbelt community to volunteer uncompensated services to activities, projects, and institutions that serve to strengthen this community. Our 2010 outstanding citizen is an exemplary Greenbelter, serving public activities like the Greenbelt New Year's Eve celebration, serving the Greenbelt Museum for many years as docent and tour guide, serving the Greenbelt Arts Center in the box office and in its business operations, serving his church as usher and greeter, donating hours of his time as well as his talents to its many charitable projects, serving the Greenbelt News Review as reporter, editor, board member, and resident expert on city council and municipal issues. A city employee for 27 years. Oop. Oh, it's okay. He retired in 1989, and his volunteering has taken place continuously in the 21 years since. A former Greenbelt resident. Former? Oh, that's okay too. He only recently moved to a nearby residential facility, and his active commitment has continued unabated since. A longtime member of the Outstanding Citizen Selection Committee. Oh, is this an inside job? Oh, no, that's okay. He resigned from the committee a year and a half ago, anticipating his change of residence, and has had no idea of this year's selection. Well, at least not until the last few seconds, anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our former 27-year city manager par excellence, who is otherwise a truly exemplary Greenbelter, our outstanding citizen for 2010, James K. Giese. Here I present to you the president of the Greenbelt Rotary, Mr. Steve Kemp.
On behalf of the Greenbelt Rotary, I'd like to present the Greenbelt Outstanding Citizen, James Giese.
If I had known this was going to happen, I would have worn a different shirt. I was making barbecue for luncheon on the lawn this morning, and some of the barbecue sauces I still have it. But I do have a fresh shirt in that bag from the nursery school, and I thank them for it. And I thank the Outstanding Citizen Committee. It's a good thing I wasn't on it, because we would have had an argument about your selection. I'm not eligible. Unfortunately, we don't live in Greenbelt anymore because we felt we needed some other type of services that Greenbelt doesn't offer anymore, isn't able to offer. And I thank the City Council for the proclamation, particularly since they're probably not too pleased with me these days. And also the legislature and the county council, and even Mrs. Turner back there. Greenbelt is a wonderful place. If it were for me to choose the outstanding citizen, I would pick Bernie, my wife. Because she's as green as they come. And with us tonight, not to my knowledge, but here they are. our two daughters, Nikki Shepard and Marcy Milligan. Marcy is here from Texas. Unbeknownst to me, I thought her mother was talking to her down in Texas. Both Bernie and I were proud to be citizens of Greenbelt. And for both of us, I thank you for this award. Thank you.
Let's you and I work this out together. Let's think about all the Greenbelters we know and their activities and accomplishments so we can put them through a process of elimination together. Our next step is to select only those of our neighbors who are involved in a voluntary activity of some kind. Now that should narrow the list down to a few thousand. Okay, let's get serious. Which activities and what accomplishments? A good one to start with is membership on a homeowners association board of directors. Even better if the service is as its president. Well, now we're down to maybe 100. Well, next, how many of our homeowner association presidents have been involved in historic preservation? How many of these can say they took part in a campaign that resulted in much needed diversity on the Greenbelt City Council? And how many of these homeowner president activists have also been deeply involved in political organizations, youth organizations, organizations supporting our museum and our performing arts? Well, I think we're now pretty close to identifying our outstanding citizen, but just to be certain, let's choose someone who has not only played a leadership role in all of these organizations and activities, but has assisted in founding and guiding to success a new organization dedicated to raising financial support and moral support for all worthy Greenbelt organizations and activities. Okay, now we have identified our outstanding citizen. A resident of Greenbelt since 1968, past president and treasurer of GHI, founding member of Friends of Historic Greenbelt Homes, a community activist, active in Eleanor and Franklin Roosevelt Democratic Club, Greenbelt Neighbors Alliance, Campfire USA, Greenbelt Museum, Greenbelt Arts Center, founding member of Greenbelt Community Foundation, a former executive director of Prince George's County chapter of the American Red Cross, and a retired minister. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present to you Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen of 2011, Ms. Sylvia Lewis. Sylvia, I know you're here somewhere. I saw you earlier. Oh, there you are. You and Bob and any other member of your family, please come on up.
Thank you Congratulations, so very much. This really is overwhelming, and you've heard all of the things, all of the activities I've been involved in. As you might imagine, that would not have been possible if I didn't have an extremely understanding husband of 52 years, my husband, Robert. And some wonderful children. My daughter's here today from upstate New York, Janet, and we're really graduate of Eleanor Roosevelt High School, 78, yeah, I guess 1978. But again, thank you all so very much. It's an exciting place to live, and as Paul said, I think that Greenbelt nurtures us. It nurtures us all. It gives us possibilities. It gives us challenges. And it's only up to us to take advantage of them. And I really appreciate this honor. But as I say, I see it as a representative of all of you out there. And I see so many of you that are very, very active in our community. Thank you all very much.
And how in the world are we supposed to recognize our outstanding citizen? Well, you know him. You have known him since 1971. If you live or once lived in Lakeside North, you might have known him from his flower gardens, or as a one-man neighborhood watch, or as a greeter, or as a faithful news review delivery man. If you live in GHI, you might know him as court liaison, greeter, conflict resolver, and yes, as a gardener. If you've had children in Greenbelt schools, you might have known him as a PTA activist, chaperone, gardening advisor, volunteer driver. If your children were involved in youth activities, you might have known him as soccer coach, swim team supporter and driver, camper and chaperone for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. If you've participated in past Labor Day festivals, you might have seen him helping to set up and take down booths. In the Golden Age Club, you know his voice, not his speaking voice so much as his singing voice, singing Happy Birthday. If you're active in any way in this community, it may well have been because of his enthusiasm and inspiration. Indeed, since 1971, our outstanding citizen has served as Greenbelt's face to its visitors, its heart to its newcomers, and its inspiration to its longtime residents. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Greenbelt's unofficial ambassador to just about everyone, our outstanding citizen for 2012, John Henry. Not the steel driving man, although that wouldn't surprise me either. John Henry Jones.
Seems like you have a fine, outstanding young man here.
Just call me John Henry.
I can. Mr. John Henry?
No, just John Henry.
Mr. John Henry?
No, put John Henry.
Okay, I'll get it right the third time. It's 3 for a quarter, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the carnival.
Yes.
John Henry?
Correct.
It is my privilege and honor as the president of Greenbelt Rotary Club to present you with the Outstanding Citizen of the Year Award from Greenbelt. Well deserved, sir. Congratulations. Go ahead. He has this thing till 7:45. Go for it.
As I look out over the audience here, I think back last Sunday when a young gentleman passed away and we had a memorial service for him, and that was Al Cousins. He shared a lot of things with me to tell me to keep growing and stay involved. So I just wanted to have a moment of remembrance with Al from way back when. It is a surprise, even though my wife, been running around for 2 weeks and hiding things from me and things of that nature. And when I turned around and see my, what shall I call them, youngsters, they're now young adults now, I said, uh-oh, something's up. I really appreciate the support that I have received since I've been in Greenbelt over 40 years. Had a lot of things presented to me and challenged to me, and I've been able to support them with support to the challenger, allowing him to grow in understanding and sharing love and support to one another to make this an outstanding community. I retired about 9 years ago, and Elaine said, I heard in the background 15, I know I'm old, where you would like to go and retire, and I said, right here in Greenbelt. It's been a good community for me and my children. And as you look over on the stage, you see my children on the background. On the far end is my oldest, Nicholas, would you stand up, and his wife, Jennifer, and his daughters are hiding over here, Sophie and Maddie. Next to Nicholas is my middle son, Nathan. I don't know how the military let him get off to come up here for the occasion, and next, it's his young baby here, so that means number 6 for me as far as grandchildren. And it's Jaden, I'm learning names all over again. And beside him is his wife, Yolanda, look at your baby, who is also in the military. My kids do pretty well, I think, for themselves. Not only does he get married, he married a senior officer, somebody lower than, so he can retire quickly. Shame on me. And I missed Leandre. I think a lot of you folks remember him when he was a little kid, when he came up last year, and they says, oh, that's Leandre? Yeah, so he's doing fine, too, also. And next to... Did I get everybody? And next is my daughter, Karita, and her son, Kai. Kai's a fig lover, and her partner is Andrea, and she's holding, MJ. They want me to learn all these new names, and I can't keep up with that, with those kinds of... Her real name is Maeve. They've been challenging me and teaching me to really send me area. And my mentor, my supporter, everything else, that screams and yells at me to move another second or another day is my wife, Elaine Jones. I know it's fairly warm this evening out here, but I wanted to share that I think one of the things we need to probably include in our repertoire is sharing with one another. Love is a great thing as far as moving forward and keeping a community together. So don't be afraid to walk up and say hello to your neighbor or to a stranger. Doesn't have to be your neighbor, but when you say hello to them, it means you're welcoming them to this community. So with that, Godspeed and bless you all.
Who is it? Let's try to guess. Well, it must be someone everyone knows. A jolly greeter, a bringer of cheer and goodwill, a public ambassador of sorts, right? Well, it can be, and it has been, but it isn't. Well, then it's someone who's presided over a number of organizations, homeowner associations, political organizations, and so forth, right? Well, it can be, and it has been, but it isn't. Well, at least it's someone who's been a long-time resident of Greenbelt, maybe a lifetime, who's been an essential part of Greenbelt life for 20 years or more, right? Well, it can be, and it has been, but it isn't. Well, then, it has to be someone whose participation is so important that we can find the person's pictures all over the media, right? Well, it can be, and it has been, but, well, not exactly. There are pictures. The pictures are of us here at the festival, in the community center, of us in the municipal building, in the aquatic and fitness center, in Greenbelt East, in Greenbelt West, everywhere we have been. Our outstanding citizen is not in the pictures. He takes pictures. Thousands of pictures. Pictures of hundreds of us at hundreds of events. He organizes the pictures into categories. He posts them on a blog. He presents them in slideshows. He writes commentaries on them. He spent all of 2012 recording and presenting in photographs the entire year of the celebration of our 75th anniversary, tying it into a photographic history of Greenbelt from its founding in 1937. Even as we speak, he is here. And of course, he's taking pictures. And I hope somebody got his picture. Thank you. A computer engineer by profession, residing in GHI with his wife and 2 young children, with a third on the way, so I guess I'd better hurry up. I present to you Greenbelt's unofficial and relentless photo historian, our outstanding citizen for 2013, Eric Zhang. He has to put away his camera.
This year, the Greenbelt Rotary Club celebrated its 25th year of service in various endeavors. Locally is one example at Spring Hill Lake Elementary School, working with children there, and as places far away as Lusaka, Zambia, working with orphan children and building a home for them. The Greenbelt Rotary Club, on behalf of them, I am honored to be a part of recognizing your outstanding service to the Greenbelt community. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go. You're welcome.
What can I say? It was I didn't expect this. I thought this was another job. I was asked to take some photos at the Labor Day Festival, and I came with my cameras. And I really appreciate what you have done, recognizing what I was doing last year. I've been here only 3 years. I feel I don't deserve it. I mean, last year was the city's 75th anniversary. I went to many events and met many people. Some people were here at the very beginning when the city was founded in 1937, 1938. And I also met many of the outstanding citizens from the past. The city, even though we are here for only 3 years, and the city has impressed us greatly. The layout of the city was masterful, and the organizations were extremely welcoming, and especially the people of Greenbelt, from the pioneers to the outstanding citizens to many other people who give so much of their time volunteering to make the city a better place. This is really a special place. That's the reason we came here, and we have been continuously impressed. So I guess the word is to encourage me to do more, I guess. So I guess I'll accept it for now, but we'll work more in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, who is it? At this point, and especially after what Suzanne said, I know you expect me to make a speech outlining the major contributions to the community made by the awardee, gradually leading up to his or her identity. But I have a confession to make this year. I'm still working on this. You see, the list of accomplishments of this year's Outstanding Citizen is so long as to be overwhelming. So instead of going through the entire list, I thought I would select from the list one item that is truly unique, something that no one else has done or can do. But I'm having trouble doing this, so maybe you can help me out. Tell me, is this unique? Our outstanding citizen personally helps out neighbors in difficulty. Admirable, certainly, but is this unique? Well, probably not. Many of you have done this from time to time. All right, let's try this. Our outstanding citizen has been for many years a hardworking volunteer at the Greenbelt News Review, a wonderful example of community service. But is this unique? Well, how about this? Our outstanding citizen is an active member of both the Greenbelt Assistance in Living, that is GALE, and the Greenbelt Intergenerational Volunteer Exchange Services, GIVES. Exemplary, of course, but unique? Okay, let's try this one. Our outstanding citizen has been an active member of St. Hugh's Church since childhood. I think it was around 1940, and is still active in the choir and Ladies of Charity, and serves as unofficial parish historian. Much better. But is it unique? Well, maybe. But let's go on. Our outstanding citizen is still an active alumna of the Greenbelt High School class of 1944, organizing reunions and writing obituaries and memorials for deceased alumni. Is this unique? Well, it might be, but I would like to see more data. Our outstanding citizen is a Greenbelt pioneer. She met her husband in the Greenbelt Junior Band and raised 8 children here. And since her husband's death in 2003, she's been active in the Patuxent Widowed Persons Services. Rare? Yeah. But unique? I'd like to test that a little bit. Well, of course, I could go on and on through this list, but do you see the problem in finding something truly unique? Something no one else can do? Wait a minute. This might be it. Yes, this is definitely it. Is there anyone here who could distinguish among a Japanese Zero, a German Messerschmitt Bf 109, and an American B-17? Well, our outstanding citizen could, because in 1942, at the age of 14, she served her country as a volunteer World War II airplane spotter. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen of 2014, known to all of us as the author of the Our Neighbors column in the Greenbelt News Review, the unique Kathleen Scott McFarland. Kathleen, please come on up with your family and friends, and I'm going to call upon President First to come forward.
Kathleen, on behalf of the Greenbelt Rotary Club and many of your beloved neighbors and friends, we congratulate you on the achievement of being awarded the Greenbelt Outstanding Citizen of the Year Award. Thank you very much for everything you've done. There you go.
Well, this is just about the biggest surprise I ever got in my whole life. I've attended so many of these ceremonies over the years and never expected that I would be here. But I began to get a little suspicious tonight when I saw so many of my children and their husbands and their children showing up here behind me. I just want to say I've lived in Greenbelt a long time, since I was 10 years old, and realized what a special place it was and just could never move away. So as Bob said, many other people here do all the same things that I have done, and I don't know how they happened to pick me out to make me feel so special, but thank you all very much, and I love every one of you.
I suppose that you expect our outstanding citizen to be someone outspoken, high profile, a prominent leader, right? Wrong. Our outstanding citizen is quiet, unassuming, even humble in all of his or her many contributions to the Greenbelt community. Well, then I suppose that you assume our honoree would be a lifelong Greenbelter, staying home, spending an entire life participating in activities within this community, right? Wrong again. Our outstanding citizen actually was born in Canada, and although she, or he, has been an active Greenbelt resident since 1958, loves to travel around the world. And if you plan to congratulate our honoree by email, incidentally, you might want to reconsider, as our outstanding citizen isn't particularly fond of electronic communications and seems widely known for her handwritten thank you notes. So putting aside all of our assumptions and expectations, let's look at the facts. Raising 3 sons in Greenbelt, our outstanding citizen was a volunteer for the Greenbelt Little League, the National Junior Tennis League of Greenbelt, and the Eleanor Roosevelt High School tennis team. She's an active member of the Greenbelt Golden Age Club, helped develop Greenbelt Assistance in Living, known as GALE. She volunteers as a proofreader for the Greenbelt News Review. She's certified in emergency preparedness and is a volunteer in Greenbelt's Community Emergency Response Team, CERT. A registered nurse, she donates her time to perform blood pressure screenings for the Heart Association, Lions Club, and city-sponsored health fairs. However, most know her as an active and dedicated parishioner, Eucharistic minister, and member of the Ladies of Charity of St. Hugh of Grenoble Catholic Church, where she founded and since 2004 has organized the Pantry of Greenbelt, an ecumenical program administered at St. Hugh's to provide groceries confidentially to needy Greenbelters, regardless of their religious affiliation. By now, I'm sure you know who it is I'm talking about. I'm talking about Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen of 2015, Solange T. Hess. Solange, I know you're down there. You're behind someone who's taller than you are, so I can't see you. But come on up and bring your family with you.
Well, on behalf of the co-sponsors of the Outstanding Citizen Program, namely Greenbelt Federal Credit Union and Franklin Park at Greenbelt Station, I am pleased to present this plaque to this year's Outstanding Citizen, Solange Hess, whose concerns and activities focused on the less fortunate in our society are truly heartwarming. Congratulations.
Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm delighted that I could have my family here, some of my family. My son Joe from Boise, Idaho. My daughter-in-law Barbara Hess from Olney. And Dan Hess from Olney. My eldest son Carl is in Tennessee with the United States Postal Service. We all grew up here in Greenbelt. We had a great time in Greenbelt, and all I can say is Greenbelt is great. Well, and I do want all the young people to remember to love your parents and your teachers fond and dear, and remember that this is the best town in the United States of America, and I thank you all for coming.
Well, to be honest, the criteria may vary a bit, but usually we seek an individual with a substantial history of service, often years of dedication to independent organizations in the Greenbelt community, such as the American Legion, Greenbelt Cares, Special Olympics, the Greenbelt News Review, the Labor Day Festival Committee. Well, in other words, a long history of service that continues into the present. I suppose one might refer to such an individual as an active relic, if you'll forgive the apparent contradiction. On the other hand, some areas of dedication might be official organs of the city. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, or the Community Relations Advisory Board. In addition, our outstanding citizen must fit the criteria not only as an active relic, but also as a good person, a good gal, or a good guy, a leader in his or her place of worship, such as the Greenbelt Community Church, serving in the choir, as a youth leader, and on its governing board. In fact, our truly good person is an accomplished singer and keyboardist, and he has used his considerable musical talents to raise funds for his church and various charities, and most notably, to help pay bills for a terminally ill child with whom he also spent many hours visiting, reading, and playing. Having spent several years as leader of a band called the Good Guys, and having organized a special group called the Relics for a concert benefiting his church, our outstanding citizen literally fits both criteria. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you our active relic and good guy, Greenbelt's Outstanding Citizen of 2016, Mr. Rick Ransom.
Okay. Good evening. Greenbelt Federal Credit Union is pleased to be co-sponsoring this year's Outstanding Citizen program again this year with Fieldstone Properties, Franklin Park at Greenbelt Station, represented by Denise Knight. Congratulations, Rick, for this year's. Congratulations.
Good. Okay, now the person you've all been waiting for, our Outstanding Citizen of 2016. Rick, the mic is yours.
Well, this is certainly a surprise, particularly since my role is mostly to not be seen and kind of stand back and help other people be seen. So that's very much a surprise, and there are a lot of people in this town that deserve this certainly as much as I do, and probably much more. I did want to say that the last time I was introduced to the word whereas so much was I saw it in a store underneath the underwear bin, and it said, "Don't wear as shorts." I mean, I don't know about whereas. I also want to say that we had thought we were going to dodge this storm, but now that you've decided to make me the outstanding citizen, I think we're definitely getting the storm now, for sure. It's coming now. But thank you so much. As you can see, I'm not, it's not my thing to stand up and get awards. It's not that I'm uncomfortable. I certainly can talk. Everybody knows that, but not in this capacity. I can't thank you enough. I couldn't do any of these things, first of all, without this person over here on the left. Barbara Lee is my heart and soul, and everything I do, she does as well, just about. So, I mean, she's just as, you could have made this for both of us, it probably would have been better. But thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. It's wonderful to get this. I'm just stunned. Wait, Rick's at a loss for words. Oh, no.
Following the color guard, we have our Outstanding Citizen of the Year, Paul Downs. Paul is one of the original formers of the Committee to Save Greenbelt and its current president. He has spent 3 decades fighting to preserve the 200 acres of forest land, which is now the Greenbelt Forest Preserve. Their mission is to preserve this treasure for perpetuity for future generations to cherish and enjoy.
Behind the honor guard is this year's Outstanding Citizen. Greg Fasonich. Greg, I'm your old teacher from Mary Bethune Junior High. Good to see you, man. 1975, what a great young man. Terrific student he was, and I'm Greenbelters know him because he just does everything here, especially with the Greenbelt Little League Baseball. Coach, treasurer, president, vice president, manager, and commissioner.
There are many alternative qualifications possible. How did we choose among them? Has our outstanding citizen volunteered to assist nonprofit enterprises in serving the public? Or has our outstanding citizen worked on expanding the city's commitment to cultural, ethnic, and racial diversity and inclusion? Or has our outstanding citizen strengthened the community by providing a medium for free exchange of services? Or has our outstanding citizen joined the fight against global warming by helping the community to move away from fossil fuels and towards sustainable energy sources like solar power? Or is our outstanding citizen renowned throughout all Greenbelt neighborhoods for her relentless efforts to help the city achieve its goal of zero waste? The answer is yes, all of the above. Without the efforts of this year's Outstanding Citizen, we wouldn't know the Greenbelt Racial Equity Alliance, the Greenbelt Time Bank, Greenbelt Community Solar, the Greenbelt Climate Action Network, or the Zero Waste Circle. Now, you might think that all these ongoing projects would require the efforts of more than one person, and you would be correct. This is why our Outstanding Citizen this year is actually a team of 2 persons working together on all these undertakings, thus proving at last that 1 can indeed equal 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a team dedicated to this community's success in environmental care and social equity for all citizens, our outstanding citizen for 2019, Lori Rosenthal and Michael Hartman. Now, Lori and Michael, I invite you to make remarks individually or together, however you choose.
Thank you and good evening. This is quite an honor tonight. I mean, it's just unbelievable, and it's unbelievable to see such wonderful faces out there. And, you know, actually, Michael and I have only lived in Greenbelt for 11 years, which makes us pretty much newcomers. But when we moved here, I never would have imagined the number of things that you could get involved with in Greenbelt. And also, if you have an idea, you can start something in Greenbelt. And I've just had such a pleasure meeting other people that had new ideas, composting, the time bank, and other things like that, that really anything's possible in this town. You dream it and it can happen. And I'm just really touched and honored to get this award.
You know, this is Laura's and my 20th anniversary, day anniversary, and we spent the first 8 or 9 years wandering around Maryland looking for community, and we found community here in Greenbelt. We found a place, yes. We found a place that we can hang out, the New Deal Cafe. And got involved, and it's, like Laura said, it's very difficult not to get involved in issues when you feel passionately about them. And I know that we will continue to knock on your door in Annapolis and right there in the municipal building to talk about issues, and you've been very, very receptive and responsive. We thank you for that. Thank you, and thank the sponsors too for this event. And Bob, thank you.
Linda Ivey. Linda, you missed this before. We announced it, but this citation is for the Labor Day Festival Committee, and you as chair.